Hello, Benjamin. Astua, Kissoff. It's been a long time, huh? I just don't have the grandbaby today and just thought I'd go live. I don't know about y'all, but I have a heavy heart about everything that's going on. And so I just wanted to share a few things with y'all. And it may be totally crazy, but what's not? How are y'all doing? Sharon, good to see you. So after this is over, I'm going to go out and wet down my house and yard. And I know that sounds crazy, but we haven't had rain in months. And so today we have a 60% chance of rain. It's not raining yet, but I'm praying. We really need it. But the concern about that is we are so dry. We're on water conservation. It's like, um, so we know there's going to be lightning, and that's the concern. He stands alone. Good to see you. Because we know lightning strikes will start a fire, and it's so dry. The welders can't weld. You can't barbecue. You can't do anything that could cause a spark. And so I'm gonna try to do what I can, preventative, so there's not a fire here. Hey Ann, good to see you. Um, so I was up on Indies last night. Gigi, it's so good to see you. Love you. I wasn't gonna play the intro. So kind of, I don't know. It's same for a long time, but it's that's what this is all about. Family, living life. Um, and that's a good point. Stands alone. We are getting a whole lot of information. Hey, Damon. I'm sorry I said that wrong. Um, Especially about Maui, but in I'm sorry, y'all, but everything I'm seeing, it just points to that was staged in every way, top to bottom, the whole thing. The thing that concerns me is everything I'm hearing. I'm not hearing anything about the children. They keep saying the children were home alone, but they're not saying where the children are. They're not saying, they're just not explaining any of that. Usually you would hear, the mass graves or something, um, that they would be, I don't know. Auntie Will, it's good to see you. Love you, hon. And Dee, you are so right. If you're out there listening, we should all be on our knees at the feet of Jesus right now. It's, but that's not all we should be doing. I just feel like we should be doing a whole lot more. This thing with Maui, if that doesn't show us what can happen anywhere at any given time, what's happening in Canada, Washington State, it's just California. I don't know about y'all, but I feel that we are under attack completely. And so, what do we do about it? We can't just sit and pray. We can't just, I don't know, and if y'all hear that, that's my chicken coop banging. Okay, I noticed when I was sitting out earlier, the wind's coming from a different direction. It's getting a little heavier. Oh my goodness. Well, yes, Gigi, but I don't know how we're going to throw out the bad guys because there's so many of them. I don't trust any single person up there. Not one person. I don't trust anybody at our state level. I don't trust, and that's it. it. It's like, how do we get that trust back? How do we? I don't know. I have um, a list of things that, if y'all get a chance, please research it. U.S. Department of Agriculture, 1965. Look up forest fires as a military weapon, Operation Sherwood Forest, Operation Hot Tip, Operation Pink Rose, Weather Modification Act, 1976, especially page 4. Um, there's a documentary. It's called The Light Bulb Conspiracy. Try to look that up. Operation Mockingbird. Just be aware, research, educate. Um, there's so many things out there that you can look up that's okay. So that's the plan. We've known this is a plan from years and years and years ago. It's working completely as they planned it. Somehow we fell into that, and they're very organized. I think that that's our problem, is we're not organized. And so that's what I was saying last night on Indies. If we could, I know there's amazing people out there, come up with some kind of a logo, something that we can put on every single one of our social media platforms, just standing in unity against everything that's going on, saying, we're not going to take it anymore. We will not comply. They're fixing to start mandates again. They've already started. If not fixing to, they've already started. They've already started the masks. Y'all know what this is leading up to. Our economy cannot take it again. We just, we can't handle it again. And so, with them knowing that, will they go even further this time? Just be prepared. Keep an eye out on everything that's going on, and keep the faith. Absolutely keep the faith. Indy, it's good to see you, hon. Um, hey, John Dunning, good to see you. I'm gonna absolutely do not comply. I'm gonna drop a link here that y'all can look at when you want to. This was pretty creepy to me. Um, and I don't want to share it on here, but I want y'all to have the link to see another thing of what they do. When you think you're helping people, this one is called The Blood Business. And It's just not good. And there's the link for that. So I was sitting here thinking, and I was like, okay, how do people do it? When I was a child growing up, we were outside dusk to dawn, dawn to dusk, whatever. Had that backwards. Daylight to nighttime. Random, good to see you. Um, and it didn't matter what the temperature was, even if it was hotter than hot. You know, we could get the water hose and drink out of the water hose. We could spray down with the water hose if we needed to. We could, um, and that was growing up in San Antonio. Yep, in the middle of the city, South Side San Antonio, and um, my grandmother just had a little tiny house. You could call us poor. It was there were no um, I don't even know how to explain it. It was we lived a simple life. That's what it was. A very simple life. And um, in the evenings, the neighborhood would get together. The women, um, the kids, we'd all get together and we'd go for a bike ride. Um, Hey, yard dog, good to see you. And even my grandparents, um, I don't even know if they had a car. They may have, but they didn't use it all the time. They rode a bicycle with two kids. They had two bicycles with the two kids, and they put them in a basket or something. I don't know how they carried them on it. And they would go, I think it was once a month, to the movie theater or something. Just, it was so, in being outside all the time like that, I think it just got us used to the weather, whatever it was going to be. And even if it was 35 degrees, I remember wearing shorts and a sweatshirt and out in the middle of the street playing touch football. And so I grew up with two stepbrothers and a real brother. And um, we were the ones that were always outside to begin with. The last place that we lived was a little subdivision kind of connected with um, Lackland Air Force Base. And so all around us were military people. And um, so once they started seeing us outside, then they started coming out and playing with us. But it was just, I think that that's where we've gotten um, too used to air conditioning. And that's what I worry about people if the power goes off, especially when it's hot. Y'all know we've been over 100 degrees for months, no rain for months. It's, um, and it's not unusual. This happens every so often, and it is what it is. But so that's what I'm trying to do with my 5-year-old granddaughter. I'm teaching her and babysitting her during the days that her mother's working. And so I'm trying to get her used to all of these things. We're having her help cook. We're having her help do things around the house. She loves to help with the laundry. And that's it, is just teaching her day to day things that she's not going to get at school. They don't teach home economics anymore. They don't teach shop. They don't teach anything. And um, I want to get a pile of pallets and I want to start teaching her how to build stuff. She does have these little magnetic squares. I don't even know what you call them, but she'll sit there and she'll build flat houses that are one story, and she'll build tall buildings with them. And she has her little toys that she puts in each room. She has a timeout room for her toys. And so I just, I know we need some technology, but at the same time, I think that we really need to get back to the old ways. I agree, Annie. Well, hi, Echo. Good to see you. Um, so there's another video, and I'm just going to show y'all a little bit of it because it lasts like 45 minutes. But I just want you to get the idea of what this man is doing, and or no, not what he's doing, what he's been doing for the past 50 years. And it's really good. And what he's doing, even though I think he's 90 years old, so he's looking for someone to pass this on to. Carl, if you're out there, you might want to check him out. Um, he's just got it going on with the and any of you people that get water runoff, California, wherever you live, we don't get water runoff because we don't have any water. And but other places, I know that this can be done. And if we did get rain, actually, I do have a slope where I could do what he's doing. But um, it's just a idea, because we can sit and complain all day about what's going on, but that doesn't get us anywhere. It's it, we need to um, just figure out ways to live through all this. Is it just and together? I pray it's together. I don't know how long we'll have the internet. Hopefully, a long time, because y'all have all meant so much to me, helped me through all this time a whole lot. And so many wonderful people out there, and I've made some good friends, and I appreciate all of y'all, every one of you. Okay, I'm gonna mute and show you a little bit of this and see what y'all think, and then I'll put the link if anybody wants to come up and talk about any of this with me. I would greatly appreciate it, but if not, I mean, I just came on to do a short little um and see everybody, and just my heart feels lightened already. Okay, I'm gonna mute and share this with y'all and see what you think. And I'll put the link so that you can watch the whole thing later if you'd like to.
All the stuff you're going to get. Fennel really good for digestion, and yarrow is good for wounds. And Echinacea everybody knows about. This was a very fun project. The biggest machine that's ever been on this land would be a chainsaw.
where do you think, as a society, where things are heading?
I was very naive when I started. It's wanting a better life, but it's also being worried that the life you have back in the city is not going to work forever.
Joe, how long have you been out here for?
50 years.
So 50 years ago, you purchased this land?
I purchased this land, 2.8 acres. It cost me $800. Last good deal. Nobody was moving into Yancey County at that point. It was the second poorest county in the state. There was land for sale everywhere, or you could just have, you know, empty houses. Hey, you mind if I live in there? Sure, you can just mow the lawn once in a while, you know, that kind of situation. Not anymore. Now Yancey County has very much been discovered. All kinds of people flocking
because
in.
we're what, an hour north of Asheville, is that why?
Yeah, it's within range of Asheville, and anything within range of Asheville is booming. Little towns that were almost abandoned, like Marshall over here. The main street was all boarded up. Now the main street is buzzing.
So how did the locals take you when you first moved out here?
By and large, they're very tolerant. It's kind of a mountain thing to be pretty tolerant of your neighbors. And I was during the Vietnam War, and there were some people who looked askance at long-haired people, as there are today, I suppose. But by and large, people are pretty tolerant. It's like live and let live kind of attitude.
Right.
For many, many years, I'd say my annual income was well under $10,000. I've always been below poverty line. I don't worry about taxes at all.
You grow all your own food, or a lot of it?
No, a lot of it. We've got land for it. We just don't have the people.
So you're looking for people to come out here?
Absolutely, yeah.
Just to help, like, stay here for a little bit of time, or be here permanently?
Both. Eventually, somebody's going to have to take this place over. I'm 80 years old and my health is not great. So I'm thinking like about an 8-person eco-village, small community situation. This is a project to create what I call a paradise garden, which is various definitions for, but one of them is a botanical garden of useful plants grown ecologically and arranged ornamentally, meaning a beautiful garden where all the plants are pretty much growing by themselves, and I can become sort of a hunter-gatherer in my own garden. I just have to remember where they are and when to get them and so on. When I started, I'd been reading a lot of anthropology. That time in the 60s, there was all this information coming out about hunter-gatherers and a lot of interest in just how we got ourselves into the situation we're in vis-a-vis the planet, where we find ourselves like being the most destructive organism ever. And a lot of the thinking was along the lines of it all went wrong with the beginning of agriculture. A lot of people think that's when all of a sudden we went from living as part of Gaia to wanting to manipulate. So the thinking is, well, of course we couldn't live like that anymore because there's too many people.
Right.
So my response to that is to up the carrying capacity of my land. I want my land to be able to support more people. So how do I do that? I pack it with more and more useful species. How do I do that? Well, A is figure out where they are, and like the obvious places, East Asia, so they have a very similar bioclimate and so on. So if you want more plants, more diversity of plants, then you want more diversity of habitats. For instance, there's no standing water on my land. The water comes down from above in the national forest, and then it sinks into the ground.
And these are some of the, well, the biggest peak in the Appalachian range is Mount Mitchell, right up there, right?
Right up there.
So right beyond these trees.
Yeah, we're at the foot of the Black Mountains, and I'm the last place on the road adjoining the national forest. I grew up in Detroit. My family moved, is what got me to North Carolina. My dad was a professor, and he went to the Library of Congress for a while and decided he'd rather teach. So he came down to North Carolina. And so I came along with the family because free tuition. And then after that, I went off in the Peace Corps and lived with tribal people in Borneo for about 3 years and suffered significant culture shock when I came back home.
Right.
The culture shock was not going over there. The culture shock was coming back and seeing this glut of stuff that we have. Just walking into a mall, I'm like, you know. I spent several years thinking about going back to graduate school and studying anthropology and going back overseas and working with these people. And eventually, I decided I didn't really want to study because I was so impressed with their lifestyle. I mean, here's people, you're coming out of Detroit where, you know, you don't really do anything except have a job, make money, and fulfill all your needs with your money. Here's people that build their own houses, grow their own food. They're pretty much self-reliant. All the communication is by river, little canoes along the river. They're really not going anywhere much. So that was amazing. And then they had, you know, all their rituals and their costumes and just such a rich life that they had. But eventually I decided I didn't really want to study it. I just wanted to live it myself. So like, because they were all healthier and happier than people in America with making so little demand on the earth. I was back in Detroit and my next door neighbors was a little kind of hippie commune of craftspeople, and they've got a line on some land right here in this valley.
Okay.
They were interested because a famous craft school is not very far from here called Pinland School of Crafts. So I came down with them, and like most hippie communes, it lasted a couple of years and then kind of imploded.
Sorry to interrupt. Why do you think they implode? Why do they work well in Borneo but maybe not here?
Maybe because we're all such individualists.
Okay.
You know, would be one speculation.
Sure.
But you know, that's what we need to create. That's the next frontier. Like I made this paradise garden out of a couple of acres of land that was too rocky and steep. It had never been farmed. Nobody'd look at it. Now phase 2 is to have a community to take it over and run it. This is my kind of signature herb, which I think I introduced to America actually, but I promote it as the best plant to grow for your health. Gynostema pentaphyllum, Chinese name Jiaogulan. It's a vine. It's actually in the squash family, but it has identical compounds to ginseng, and ginseng is very much under threat of overharvesting. Wild ginseng out of the woods is worth $1,000 a pound some years.
Oh, wow.
This stuff is practically a weed, but it has identical compounds to ginseng. So
what does it do for your health? What does it do for your health?
It's what's called an adaptogen, which means it's they're health promoting. They're not really sickness curing. They're health promoting, and they boost your immune system. This whole concept of adaptogens was actually developed by the Russians, who wanted to win more gold medals at the Olympics. So they put a lot of research into their adaptogen because they don't have much ginseng. They have something called Siberian ginseng, which is right over here somewhere.
Do you use all of these plants in your daily life?
That one I drink every day. So one of the ways that was discovered, it was a folk herb. It was not one of the traditional Chinese herbs that's been used for thousands of years. Chinese government started keeping good enough statistics to realize that certain parts of China had an extraordinarily large number of centenarians, people living to be 100 years old. Like there's way more of them in this part of China. So they went down and investigate, and they're all drinking this stuff and calling it immortality tea. So that's kind of when it came to more global notice. It's huge now all over East Asia. It's coming to America. They call it sweet tea vine. It's showing up in tea shops, but it's not as big as it's gonna be. Goji berries. Whoever heard of goji berries 20 years ago? Nobody. It's a famous Chinese blood tonic. Now they're everywhere. Schizandra is another one that's coming on. One by one, they come to America.
But if you go to your average doctor, they're going to give you some
The
drug.
AMA is not very fond of herbs.
Okay.
For various reasons, including historical, because in the last century, there was a huge rivalry between the herbal people, who are called eclectics, and they had their own medical schools and their own journals, and they were very active. They're the ones that brought all the American Indian herbs into Western practice.
Okay, it looks like a lot of y'all have seen that already. But yeah, he's talking about everything that we've been talking about. And he's been growing all this stuff. He's already got everything there. He's just looking for a community. And he's been building structures. If you look through it, he's got yurts, he's got just all kinds of structures for people to live in. Um, to me, it looks like a little piece of heaven there. um, just, yeah, it is awesome. I would love to do that, but I waited too long. Guess that's a lot of our problems. We should have been hippies back in the day. And we keep hearing echo is the eco things are bad, but are they? I I mean, to me, it's like expanding on what God has given us, making the earth do what it should do, produce life, instead of tearing everything down. And around me, so many subdivisions are going up, and I just hate to see it. These are ranchers that have passed on, and their kids just want the money and they sell it off, and then it just changes the whole community. And that's why our water is getting so low also. We used to didn't really have to worry so much about the rain. We're running on 3 wells, and they've been sufficient for the whole community of 1,500 population. But now, because of all the vineyards and subdivisions, and we have this huge apartment complex that they just annexed in, that I think it has 400 units. And so just instantly the population is doubling. And so, yeah, we're not, we're, the water's running low. We don't have the infrastructure to handle the people, the schools. Um, they're not big enough. It's going to actually cost more money doing all of this than if it had stayed the same, is what I'm seeing here where I'm at. And then I know a lot of y'all are dealing with the immigrants that are coming over. Um, we're not seeing that locally, but definitely in our state, they're all around us. Um, they've got a 37-acre city that they're building to house them, and I heard Rescue saying he had mixed feelings about that last night, as do I. Um, there's been some bad things happening there. These people, I have no idea how to even vet them. I know some of them are here for good intentions, and I know some of them are here for bad intentions. And until they do something, how do you know? You know, I have seen in New York where before they even get off the bus, they're on some kind of app that has been provided to them looking for jobs. If they're looking for jobs, then most likely they're here looking for a better life. But at the same time, in the countries where they come from, life is a lot different than our life here. And so, how are they going to act towards others? Are they going to work as a team with others? You know, do they even speak English? Um, I can see a lot of disadvantages to this, no matter how you look at it. We have just been overrun. And I'm seeing uh, places that they've been housing them having to kick them out. And so then what's going to happen? Are we going to have that many more homeless people out there destroying the streets? You know, we just it's the same thing as here. It's just an all of a sudden overload of people that you can't accommodate, and I just don't see how that's going to be a good thing. I dropped the link if anyone wants to come up. I'll drop it one more time. If nobody comes up, I'm going to go ahead and close it up. But I just wanted to try to give y'all some positive things to look at, maybe that, okay, that didn't sound so positive, but um, just if you can, um, think of the Golden Girls that all live together in the same home because of necessity. It's cheaper that way. If if you have a home that you have spare bedrooms and have family that's in need, these kids, there is no way these kids can graduate from high school and go out on their own. I cannot see how they can do it. Even here, the average rent, well, I'd say even the lowest rent is 1,500, but the average is 2,000. And I know some places it's 3,000 that aren't very far from here. So there's they're not making the money to afford to do that. That's just the rent. Then they've got their utilities and their food, and I don't know. It's that, and that's why I have all the girls living with me, because they can't make it on their own. They tried, and it didn't work, and they know they can always come home. Hey Frank, good to see you. Yes, Cindy, and that's, I think it's nationwide now. Used to be it was so expensive to live in California, and we were all so happy that it stayed good here, and then boom. It's like, I don't know if everyone has just gotten money hungry. I feel that money has a lot to do with everything that's going on, and the more we can try to get away from using that money, especially if they pull off the digital, I don't know. It just, it's crazy the way everything's just falling into place, and I don't like it. And I see a lot of y'all don't like it either. Um, However you can do it, take a stand. Just whatever it is. Yeah, random. That's and Sharon, yes, it is too many things at once. I'm sorry. Hey, Rich Runner, good to see you. Um, yeah, so we built a house in 2002, and we even building a house, it was 85,000, and before that, my rent in a 3-story home was $250 a month. So that's how drastically it's changed here. You cannot get a mobile home even for under $100,000. So just stay strong, y'all. Whatever you got to do. Um, and that's I've been looking at ways to try to make money here. Um, I have tons of craft stuff, so I'm pulling that out. I'm gonna start making crafts and try to sell them at the markets or just post it on Facebook. See what I can do that way. Um, I think eBay has a selling program that doesn't even send you the box. It does send you all the supplies you need to ship it out and everything. And then you just go to garage sales or whatever and pick up stuff and resell it. Um, there's a lot of ways to make money that if you just put your mind to it and do it, may take a little work, but it's better than sitting on my butt watching it spread. Hey, Chuck. Been waiting on Wyatt. I hope he's doing okay. I'm no echo. Yeah, I saw that. I've seen a lot of TikTok videos today that were um, that you can't help but get angry about it. The way that they're handing out money to people who are not from here. Hey, Meat Puppet. I agree, Sharon. Yeah, I don't, I try, I have tried everything I can to get away from the government, anything. And that's what I was hoping when we moved to my mom's that I could even cancel Social Security just because I don't want any of that control because we know eventually they're going to use something to receive Social Security. So mine are brats too, and I'll tell you, it's not peaceful. It's tough, but it is what it is, and that's where we're all just having to adapt, and that's where I'm trying to be the strong one and pull them together. Hey, Garrett, good to see you. Yeah, Ian, that's what I'm seeing too. Where it used to be, it was such an embarrassment to live in a mobile home, but well, it wasn't embarrassing for me. That's we've lived in them for years and years, but well, and that's I have plenty of tent space outside. If they get to me too bad, I'll stick them out there. Get you a tent. They can come in and use the restroom and shower. Figure it out. That's a good way to teach them, though. Random. That's a good point. Yep. Yeah, they are making them better, prettier, seem more sturdy. For a while there, they were really sturdy. Then they kind of got cheapy, and I think now they're starting to make them better again. So, yeah, tiny homes are cute. Just a little too small. I don't know. I could do it. Guess if we had several on the same property, we could do it. But protesting in LA, good. Oh, I know Kiss Off, and yes, it does drain me, and that's why I haven't been going live. I mean, that 5 year old, she is hyper. All of a sudden, for the past week or so, she's just like, whew. And so I have to keep her busy with something, and so we're making a lot of things, and we're just trying to get through the day, teaching her as much as I can with, yeah, and that's true. And although we're supposed to have one heck of a winter, I'm hearing, so I'm kind of trying to prepare for that. I bought cherry tomatoes, and they were doing really bad. So then I put a sunshade over the deck. That they're um, they're in buckets, and I'm just getting a couple, and they're like just a little bit bigger than a pea. Something's making them smaller. Random. Uh, I think we have been suffering, and I think we're going to suffer some more. But yeah, we are strong. We have fought everything. We just have to keep going, persevere. Can't give up. Absolutely don't give up. Yeah, I'm here in the middle of September, but um, the masks have already started. Some, what did I hear today? The virus is actually um, what they're doing to us. That it's not like a virus like runny nose and congestion and all that. It's like the virus is what they're doing, and that's good will prevail. It has to. We just have to keep holding on to that. I saw where they said, um, I think it was 10%, it was a really low percentage, was saying that, uh, oh my goodness, what have we all been saying? it was a low percentage that doesn't believe everything mainstream media is saying. And I was like, I just don't believe that. I think it's a bigger percentage than that. Yes, we will endure. Oh, that's good, Anne. Yeah, yep. Keep your wildlife fed, water, if you possibly can. I try to keep my bird bath full for any animals that come along. All the deer have headed down towards the water. Not seeing them as much, but they'll come back. But y'all just get prepared for a rough winter. I don't know when it'll start, but that's a good one, Kissel. You survived too many storms to be bothered by raindrops. Absolutely. Yeah. All right, y'all. I'm going to close it down. I hope you all have a good day. I've enjoyed seeing you and talking to you. And just please stay strong. Don't give up hope. Don't give up at all. Stand strong against anything that you know is not right, that you know is going to harm you or yours, your community. Help your neighbors. Be there for your neighbors. Get to know your neighbors. And just take them a jar of something homemade. Hey, Dagmar. Um, when I first moved here, one of my neighbors brought me a jar of mixed beans for bean soup. You know, that's cheap and easy and had a little note on it. It was just sweet. Kind of made me tear up. Just do something nice for somebody and it'll all work out. I've been gone 5 weeks or so about. Oh my goodness, Dagmar. Absolutely will keep you in prayers still. I have your name on my list and you get better soon. Love you, dear. Love all of y'all. Stay safe, stay strong, stick together. Y'all have a good evening. Love y'all and God bless you.